Hello everyone. In today's lecture, we will see the topic determinants. The images used in our slide deck are for educational purposes only. We respect the intellectual property rights of the original creators and owners of these images. If you are the owner of any of the images used in this deck and have any concerns or issues, please contact us at sathi@iitk.ac.in and we shall remove the images. Now, let's see the topics we will study in today's lecture. First, we will study determinants. After that, we will see properties of determinants. We will see cyclic determinants. After that, we will see area of triangle by using determinants. We will see minors and cofactors. After that, we see adjoint of a matrix, inverse of a matrix, and solution of system of linear equations in 2 and 3 variables. So let's start. Determinants. Every square matrix A can be associated with a number or an expression which is called its determinant, and it is denoted by determinant of A or determinant of A or delta, right? Suppose we have a matrix A as this. So determinant of A is basically this one. If matrix A is A, B, C, D, then determinant of A can be calculated as C, AD minus BC, right? AD minus BC. Now, if matrix A is this one, then determinant of A can be calculated. Now, if we expand along R1, you can see that first take A as common, right? A as common. Now, take this row and this row. You cover this column and this row. So what are you getting? After covering this one and this one, you will get QRVW, right? QRVW. So, and plus minus sign will be alternate. If A has plus sign, then B has minus sign, right? Now, if you take B, now it is minus B, right? It is minus B. Clear? Now, B, so B is in this column. So this column and this row will be covered. So what is left? UW, right? So UW. Clear? Clear? Now, let's take C. Now, it was plus minus plus. Now, let's take C. If we take C plus C, then this column and this row will be covered. So, C, PQ, UV. Right? Now, we can expand A into, now this matrix can be solved. into QW minus VR, right? Minus B into PW minus UR plus C into PV minus UQ. So, by this way, we can expand the determinants, right? Okay. Now, let's see properties of determinant. First, if each element of a row or column is 0, then determinant will be 0, right? If two rows or columns are proportional, clear, then determinant will be 0. If the determinant of A transpose is equal to determinant of A, where A transpose is a transpose of a matrix. If any two rows or columns are interchanged, the determinant delta will be minus delta, right? If each element of a row or column of a determinant is multiplied by a constant k, then the value of new determinant is k times the value of original determinant. Determinant of k is basically k to the power n determinant of A, if A is of order n into n. If each element of a row or column of a determinant is written as the sum of two or more terms, right? Then the determinant can be written as a sum of two or more determinants. That is A1 plus A2 plus BC, A2 BC, P1 plus P2 QR, U1 plus U2 VW, right? Now, if a scalar is multiplied, a scalar multiplied of any row or column is added to another row or column, then delta is unchanged. That is ABC, we have determinant ABC, PQR, UVW, right? Now, we multiply in R2, we can replace R2 by R2 plus KR1, right? By this is elementary transformation. So R2 can be replaced by R2 plus KR1, right? You can see. So determinant will be unchanged. Now, what is product of determinants, right? If determinant of A is basically A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C3, and A3, B3, C3. and determinant of B is alpha 1, beta 1, gamma 1, alpha 2, beta 2, gamma 2, and alpha 3, beta 3, gamma 3. Then determinant of A into determinant of B can be calculated as this. C. Multiply. We have multiplied basically row by row. This is determinant of AB. So row by row. First row can be multiplied with first row, second row can be second row, third row can be with third row. See, A1 alpha 1, B1 beta 1, C1 gamma 1, right? Like this. A2 alpha 1, B2 beta 1, C2 gamma 1, right? A3 alpha 1, B3 beta 1, C3 gamma 1, like that. We can also multiply rows by columns or columns by rows or columns by columns, right? Now, you can note one important point. Determinant of AB is equal to determinant of A into determinant of B, which is equal to determinant of BA, which is equal to determinant of A transpose B, and which is not equal to AB transpose, determinant of AB transpose, and this is equal to determinant of A transpose B transpose, right? Now, determinant of A to the power n is basically determinant of A to the power n, where n belongs to Z plus, positive integer, right? N should be positive integer. Now, what is cyclic determinant? In cyclic determinant, the elements of row or columns are arranged in a systematic order, and the value of determinant is also in systematic order, right? So this determinant, C, example of this is 1x square, 1y square, 1z square can be written as x minus y minus z, and z minus x, right? So this is the basically example of cyclic determinant. Now let's calculate area of triangle by using determinant. If A, B, and C are vertices of triangle ABC, then area of triangle ABC can be calculated as 1 by 2 x1 y1 x2 x1 x2 x3 y1 y2 y3 1 1 1. After solving this determinant, you will get area as this one, right? Now, if these points are collinear, then and vice versa, the determinant value of A is 0, right? Because if these lines are collinear, area will be 0, right? And if determinant value of this is 0, then we can say that then these points are collinear, right? Vice versa is also correct. Okay. Now let's see minors and cofactors. What is minors and cofactors? The minor Mij of the element Aij is the determinant obtained by deleting the ith row and jth column of triangle of delta, right? Suppose we have delta A11, A12, A13 like this. Then M1, N11, M11, basically minors of this can be calculated by deleting the ith row and jth column. Since 1 we are calculating M11, so we will delete first row and first column, right? So you will get determinant of A22, A23, A32, A33, right? Similarly, if we have to calculate M12, if we have to calculate M12, then first row and second column will be removed. First row M12 and second column will be removed. So what is left? A21, A23, A31, A33, right? These are the methods to calculate minors. Now, let's calculate cofactor. Cofactor Cij of the element Aij is basically minus 1 to the power I plus j M11, Mij, right? Now, if we have to calculate C11, right, which can be calculated C minus 1 to the power I plus j, which is 1 plus 1, which is 2, right? So, it is basically it is equal to M11, right? C11 will be equal to M11, and C12 is basically minus M12, because minus 1 to the power 1 plus 2 is basically minus 1 to the power 3, which is minus 1, right? So C12 is basically minus M12. Clear? So by this method, we can calculate minors and cofactors. Clear? Now let's move. The sum of product of elements of any row or column with their corresponding cofactors is equal to the value of determinant, right? So delta can be A11 C11 plus A12 C12 plus A13 C13, and it is also equal to A21 C21 plus A22 C22 plus A23 C23, and it is also equal to A31 C31 plus A32 C32 plus A33 C33, right? But if elements of a row or column are multiplied with cofactors of any other row or column, then their sum is basically 0, right? You have to also remember these things. Okay, fine. Now let's understand what is adjoint of a matrix. Suppose we have a matrix A which is Aij n into n. Then adjoint of matrix A is denoted by adjoint of A and it is defined as Cij n into n transpose, where Cij is cofactor of Aij, right? So if we have matrix A as this, then adjoint of A is basically matrix of matrix of cofactors of each element, right? So adjoint of A is basically C11, C12, C13, C21, C22, C23, like that. Note if A is A, B, C, D, then adjoint of A, you can remember this. See, this is calculated by this method. You can remember for 2 into 2 matrix as C. This and this will be same. This and this will D and A will change their position, right? And B and C will be same but change sign only, right? So A and D will change their position and C and B will change their sign only, not position, right? So you can remember this. Clear? Next, properties of adjoint of a matrix. Let A be a square matrix of order n, then adjoint of A into A is equal to A into adjoint of A equal to determinant value of A into In. Also, determinant value of adjoint of A can be calculated as determinant value of A to the power n minus 1 if determinant value of A not equal to 0. Adjoint of AB can be written as adjoint of B into adjoint of A. Also, adjoint of A transpose is basically adjoint of A transpose. Clear? Adjoint of A can be calculated as determinant value of A to the power n minus 1, n minus 2 into A if determinant value of A not equal to 0. And also determinant value of adjoint of A can be calculated as determinant value of A to the power n minus 1 square, where determinant value of A not equal to 0. Now, let's discuss inverse of a matrix. Let A be any non-singular matrix, that is determinant value of A not equal to 0. Non-singular square matrix, then inverse of A can be obtained by following two ways. First way is using determinants. So you can remember this. A inverse can be calculated as adjoint of A upon determinant value of A, right? You have to remember this. The second method is basically using elementary operations. In this, first write A is equal to IA, right? For applying row operations, or A is equal to AI for applying column operations. Then reduce A of LHS as I by applying elementary transformations, right? Simultaneously on A of LHS and I of RHS, right? And reduce it as I is equal to PA, or I can be written as AP, right? Then P can be written as A inverse, right? P can be written as, because we have multiplied A inverse both sides. P is basically A inverse. So by this, using elementary operations, we can calculate the inverse of a matrix. Now, properties of inverse of a matrix. A square matrix is invertible if and only if it is non-singular, right? It should be non-singular, because if it is singular, then determinant value of A should be 0, which is then A inverse is not defined, right? So A should be non-singular. Now, if A is equal to diagonal of lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda n, right? So A inverse will be diagonal of lambda 1 inverse, lambda 2 inverse till lambda n inverse, right? Provided lambda I not equal to 0 for all I equal to 1 to n, right? Diagonal of lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda n means lambda 1, 0, 0, 0, right? 0, 0, 0, lambda 2, lambda 3, right? All the terms will be 0, lambda n, all the terms will be 0, 0, 0, right? Clear? And diagonal of 1 by lambda 1 by lambda 2 is basically 1 by lambda 1 by lambda 2 in place of lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, lambda n, right? Now let's move to the solution of system of linear equations in 2 and 3 variables. Let system of linear equations in three variables be a1x plus b1y plus c1z is equal to d1, a2x plus b2y plus c2z is equal to d2, and a3x plus b3y plus c3z is equal to d3. Now we have two methods to solve these equations, right? First method is matrix method, right? In this method, we first write the above system of equations in matrix form as shown below. As we can write Ax equal to B, where A is this matrix, X is X, Y, Z, and B is D1, D2, D3. Clear? And equations are like this. Case 1, when the system of equations is non-homogeneous, right? That is B not equal to 0, which is non-homogeneous. Now, if determinant value of A not equal to 0, then the system of equations is consistent and has unique solution, right? You have to remember this. Given by X is basically A inverse B. And if determinant value of A is equal to 0 and adjoint of A into B not equal to 0, then the system of equations is inconsistent and has no solution, right? So you have to remember this. If determinant value of A is 0 and adjoint of A into B is equal to 0, then the system of equations may be either consistent or inconsistent according to as the system have infinitely many solutions or no solutions. Now, let's see case 2. When system of equations is homogeneous, that is B equal to 0. If determinant value of A not equal to 0, then system of equations has only trivial solution, namely x equal to 0, y equal to 0, and z equal to 0. And if determinant value of A equal to 0, then system of equations has non-trivial solution, which will be infinite numbers, right? Now, second method, which is Cramer's rule. And this method, capital D can be written as A1, B1, C1, A2, B2, C2, and A3, B3, C3. Case 1, when the system of equation is non-homogeneous. So, if capital D is not equal to 0, then it is consistent with unique solution given by X has D1 by D, D2 by D, D3 by D. If D is equal to 0 and at least one of D1, D2, D3 is non-zero, then it is inconsistent. That is no solution. And if D equal to D1 equal to D2 equal to D3 equal to 0, then it may be consistent or inconsistent according as the system has infinitely many solutions or no solutions, right? And case 2, when the system of equations is homogeneous. So if determinant not equal to 0, then x equal to y equal to z equal to 0 is the only solution. That is the trivial solution. And if determinant value of A is 0, then it has infinitely many solutions. So above methods can be used in a similar way for the solution of system of linear equations in two variables. We have discussed about three variables, right? Now let's see summary of these chapters. This chapter we have discussed so far. So every square matrix A can be associated with a number or expression which is called its determinant, and it is denoted by determinant of A and this. There are 6 ways of expanding determinant of order 3 corresponding to each of the 3 rows, that is R1, R2, R3 and 3 columns C1, C2, C3. After that, we studied properties of determinant, product of determinants. Now, in cyclic determinant, the elements of row or column are arranged in a systematic order, and the value of determinant is also in a systematic order. The minor Mij of determinant Aij is the determinant obtained by deleting the ith row and jth column of delta. The sum of product of elements of any row or column with their corresponding cofactors is equal to the value of determinant. But if elements of a row or column are multiplied with cofactors of any row or column, then their sum is 0, right? Now A is basically Aij n into n. Then adjoint of A is denoted by adjoint of A, which is denoted by Cij n into n transpose, where Cij is the cofactor of Aij. Now properties of adjoint of a matrix. Let A be a non-singular, that is determinant value of A not equal to 0, a square matrix, then inverse of A can be obtained by following two methods. First, using determinant, second, using elementary transformation. Now, a square matrix is invertible if and only if it is non-singular. Solution of system of linear equations in 2 and 3 variables can be solved. Let the system of linear equations in 3 variable be. We assume 3 variable equation. Now we have two methods to solve these equations. First is matrix method and Cramer's rule method, right? So we can solve by this method. Okay, thank you.